For decades, the Central Intelligence Agency, or CIA, has been involved in some of the most horrific human rights abuses in modern history. From coups and assassinations to torture and rendition, the CIA's actions have left a trail of blood and trauma around the world. One of the most notorious examples of CIA intervention in foreign countries was the coup in Iran in 1953. At the time, Iran was led by Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh, who had nationalized the country's oil industry and had strong popular support. However, Mossadegh's policies threatened the interests of British and American oil companies, which had long exploited Iran's resources for their own profit. In response, the CIA launched Operation Ajax, a covert operation to overthrow Mossadegh and install Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, a pro-Western monarch who ruled Iran with an iron fist for over 2 decades. The coup led to a long period of repression, torture, and corruption in Iran, and set the stage for the Islamic Revolution of 1979, which overthrew the Shah and led to the current Islamic Republic of Iran. Another example of CIA intervention was the coup in Guatemala in 1954. At the time, Guatemala was led by President Jacobo Arbenz, who had instituted land reforms and other progressive policies that threatened the interests of the United Fruit Company, a major American corporation that controlled much of Guatemala's banana industry. In response, the CIA launched Operation PB Success, a covert operation to overthrow Arbenz and install a military junta that would serve American interests. The coup led to a long period of violence, repression, and genocide in Guatemala, and contributed to the ongoing conflicts in the country. In addition to coups and assassinations, the CIA has also been involved in the practice of torture and rendition, which involves the secret transfer of prisoners to other countries where they can be interrogated and tortured without accountability. One of the most infamous examples of CIA torture was the use of enhanced interrogation techniques on suspected terrorists after the attacks of September 11, 2001. These techniques included waterboarding, sleep deprivation, and stress positions, and were widely condemned by human rights organizations as cruel, inhuman, and degrading. The CIA also operated secret prisons, or black sites, around the world where prisoners were held without due process and subjected to torture and other forms of abuse. The CIA's involvement in Iraq has been marked by a long history of atrocities, including torture, rendition, and assassination. The agency's actions in Iraq have undermined the country's sovereignty, violated human rights, and contributed to the ongoing instability and violence in the region. One of the most notorious examples of CIA atrocities in Iraq was the use of torture and abuse at Abu Ghraib prison. In 2004, photos and videos emerged showing American soldiers, including CIA operatives, engaging in the torture, humiliation, and sexual abuse of Iraqi prisoners. The abuse included forced nudity, electric shocks, simulated drowning, and other forms of physical and psychological torture. The scandal led to widespread condemnation of the United States and the exposure of the CIA's role in the abuse. The legacy of CIA atrocities has left deep scars on the countries and peoples affected by them. The CIA's interventions in foreign countries have often resulted in chaos and suffering, and have undermined democracy, human rights, and the rule of law. The agency's use of torture and rendition has also violated international law and human dignity, and has undermined America's moral authority and standing in the world. It's time for the CIA to be held accountable for its atrocities. It's time for the U.S. government to acknowledge the harm it has caused and to compensate the victims of its actions. It's time for the world to demand transparency, justice, and human rights for all. Only by confronting the dark legacy of CIA atrocities can we hope to build a more peaceful and just world for future generations. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe our channel.